sense.
Hey, good morning. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of the Radio Godz. I got my people with me. We're going to start off. I don't know how y'all see this, but I'm going to say from left to right from my screen. We got Mr. Producer, Mr. Adam O. We got Ross Stain going from the bottom. We got Stinkowski. And then we got the professor. No, I'm just playing. Look. Hey, again, thank y'all for tuning in, man. I think we got a great show for y'all. Our topic of discussion today is financial literacy, right? And how young or when should you put your children up on game to understand the financial literacy or how to spend money? And I'm gonna start off with when you talk about financial literacy and when it pertains to your children. The definition that I did find about that is financial literacy for kids is about ensuring that the child is educated on the best way to manage finances. This is a way of securing their future. This is because they will be able to learn how to manage money in all ways possible. This helps them spend wisely at all times. Okay, now with that being said, I do believe that it also starts in the household. Now, how young should you start them? I believe once they understand the value of a dollar, then they're able to understand what it is to be financially secure or to be literally ready for spending money. And what I mean by that, if they can go outside and let's just say cut some grass, shovel some snow, do odd things around the house like they chores, or even just help somebody, one of their neighbors, anything of that nature, and let's just say they get $10 and you had them put up 10%. You know what I'm saying? And they do that all the way up until they graduate high school or something to that nature. It's just starting them off to understand that once you get a job, your 10% becomes bigger than a dollar. You know what I mean? And young, it is necessarily no age limit for as understanding, because at 5 years old, they do know daddy, mommy, granny, papa, whoever, whatever they use. Hey, I want this, I want that, whether it's a bag of chips, it's a rainbow juice as we had back in the day. I think they got the little barrels now and the little juices and things like that, where they find out what it is. You know what I mean? So with that being said, hey, Mr. Professor, please enlighten me on your thoughts of what you have to bring to the table as far as this subject is concerned.
Well, looking at myself and, growing up, everybody was saying, you need good credit, but nobody's really explaining, what I'm saying,
Right.
what that meant, and like I didn't really even think about it until it was like, oh shit, I want a house. It was like, oh shit. By that time, I was so far in the hole. Oh damn, I didn't have a. It's like I became a grave digger. You know what I'm saying? I was, I had mountains to climb on that one. So what we doing?
Right.
We got like for my son, he got a job now. So his check goes into like a savings account, a Roth IRA. Then the leftover goes into his bank account, his checking account. So that way, he has money. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean spending money, but he actually has money that's trying to get interest, all that stuff, because I don't want him going up like me. You know what I'm saying? You sitting there like they tell you, save money. Okay, save money. Shit, you're going to hit that one point where that money going to be like, I'm about 20. I'm broke. I got this money in savings. So now he's like, okay, cool. We bringing them in together. Bring them along. You know what I'm saying? I figure you should start as early as you can, whether it's like an at-home lesson, just like homeschool. You would teach at-home schooling, shit, even if the kids go to regular school, just teach them financials there, because the school's not gonna teach them. So hell, because they don't even teach kids how to balance checkbooks anymore. I remember that in class. I think I was like,
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I remember we had economics class.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, like, they don't do that. Hell, they don't do cursive. So, really, it's on the parent. And hopefully, your child is able to learn early. You know what I'm saying? So, if you can sit down and be like, hey, let's talk about X, Y, and Z. And, you know, and then you just show them, like, hey, this is where my credit is. This is where it was, you know, and you just try to help build. Oh, I also put
Let me ask you this. With that being said, everything that you mentioned, when you have your son having a job and the different accounts that his check go through before it even hits his checking account for him to spend, whose idea was it? Was it yours? Was it your wife? Was it your mother?
It was a wife.
Huh?
Wife.
Okay.
It was a wife. And looking back, I was like, man, that was a damn good idea. You know, because they both have outside accounts for like education that we have set up for them. You know,
Your
so
son and your daughter.
yeah, both of them.
Okay.
And it's like, I want to say it's like one of the best things, you know, I could think of. Oh, and like I say, I put them on my credit cards. So even before they hit adulthood, they have credit history.
Okay.
So as long as I keep my stuff under wraps, by the time they hit, you know what I'm saying, all that good stuff they need, their credit score gonna be through the roof. Because hell, by the time my kids get 20, they should have like maybe 10, 15 years worth of credit history already.
Say that again, Troop, so people can understand. That's a good tip.
So what I found out when I was getting the house was, if you put they told me to try to get on my mom's credit card to hit boost my credit score. It's like a quick boost. So I put one kid on a different credit card. And so they build their credit before they're even really eligible to even have a credit card of their own. So now when they hit 20, they're going to have like 5 to 7 years of credit history already built up, you know. So
I'm glad you said that, because I ain't know that. I ain't even know that.
Bruh. I didn't know either.
No, that's why I say I'm glad I'm here, because I ain't know it.
Yeah. Yeah, I even put my wife on one of my credit cards to boost her up. Shit, now her credit score better than mine.
And that's a plus though, because y'all won.
Right.
I'm looking like, hey, this is a bitch.
So I'm gonna ask. Let me ask Stinkowski, what's your take on the topic?
Damn, man, I missed last week's topic for this topic. Damn.
All right, look, I'll come back to you then. I'll come back to you then.
I'm stuck on the strippers, man. And y'all, oh man. Yeah, move on.
You could have went and you could have went to sleep, huh?
I should have stayed in the coma.
Hey, Rothstein, what's your take on it, brother?
I think it's all pretty good, and like, I ain't gonna lie, I know some stuff, but what he just told me, that's something big. I never knew, never thought of, and shit, I'm finna go do that. And like he said, I think you should teach it early as possible, because like with me, and I don't know, it's probably because my dad owned his own business, but I started learning the value of what money was when I was about 5, because that's when I first started working. I used to go to work with my dad, and I was cleaning bricks and doing all kind of stuff. And then what I started doing was, when I found out the older guys could do it faster, I went and recruited one of my partners. So we can get as many pallets. If we work together, we're going to build as many pallets as them. And it kind of made me where I don't do frivolous spending that I used to. And then when I met my wife, this one time we was at Nordstrom's, And I was going to
Just
buy a
last
pair of
week.
$300 jeans, right? And she started looking at me. And she was like, you finna spend $300 on a pair of jeans that ain't gonna last no time. And you got a family now. So that kind of reeled me back in from being a bullshit spender. So now I don't do all this crazy spending, and like I came to find out like I messed up my credit in the beginning when I first started going to college, getting them credit cards, going to buy clothes and all kind of bullshit that they give you. And they just, when you first graduate from high school, they just start sending that shit in the mail. And I was accepting, and I was fucking spending,
So
and dug a big ass hole.
So
And
that
I'm
plays a
just
part.
now, I'm just now coming out of the whole shit, and I'm 40 now.
So that plays a
And
part
so,
into what I said. It goes back to what you learned as a kid. You know what I'm
cause
saying?
see,
And how do you teach your kid?
and we had, like I said, we had cash on hand, because like I said, my mama was a teacher, my daddy owned his own business. And I used
Don't
to
forget that
always
back
go
day
to,
too.
and I used to go to the store with my mama, and I used to always see her swiping that card, swipe that card. And it kind of fucked me up, not really tripping off, you got to pay back all this shit you swiping.
Yeah.
And then I went in paying the minimum balance. And that was another mess up. And that's where I notice people mess up it all the time, is paying the minimum instead of just go ahead and pay it.
Paying it off, yep.
And like, I was always told on the credit card, you always leave something there.
At least 30%, yep.
Yeah, but I think that's some bullshit too, because I believe if you got it, you go on and pay it and get it done. I don't know if it's any difference. I just heard it's a difference of carrying over a balance and establishing it. But like, I like the American Express charge card. Whatever you spend that month, that's what you pay. You pay it off right then and there.
When I
And
said
that
the
was
30%,
another thing.
when I said the 30%, I meant you only use 30% of your balance, not leave 30%. You only use 30% of your balance.
But if you ever trip off people who do like credit repair and all that stuff, they'll tell you not to pay the whole thing off and tell you to leave a portion on there and carry it over to the next month. And that's how you establish your credit. It helps you establish a better line of credit, but I don't believe that, me myself personally, because I think it's stupid, because if you have it, just go ahead and pay it off, because you never know what's going to happen where you might have to spend some money on something else.
It's all
like
around.
Like this week, I had an issue with my phone. If I didn't have no money put up, I'd have been fucked. I was on a family plan with somebody else, and I ended up having to go out and spend $600 on the phone by myself. If I didn't have nothing put up or put to the side, I'd have been asked out. My phone stopped on me at 12 o'clock in the daytime while I was at work. I couldn't communicate with nobody, couldn't touch the screen. Look, my earbuds wasn't answering the phone or nothing.
No music, no nothing. I feel you.
Nothing.
Hey,
I think it's very important, man, because these days, people don't have no kind of education on a lot of things, and they most definitely don't have an education on finances. Because, like, it's bigger than just money and credit cards.
It is.
It's stuff I heard that I just learned, and I only learned it because my wife was looking online, and she ordered some flashcards, some financial flashcards. And I was like,
for her or for the kids?
It was for the kids, but I'm gonna use them. Because there's a lot of terms out here that you don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to be funny. I think some of the most financial literate people is the Caucasian people.
They're taught. They're taught from an early age.
And we don't do that. And we always wonder why poverty keeps repeating itself and repeating itself. It's because we don't search out and study what it is.
To break the cycle.
Yeah. Like, I want to learn this stock market stuff. I want to learn how to invest, man, because I want to create an income for, if it ain't for me, it could be for my kids or my grandkids. I don't want to leave this world and leave my family with a bill.
Right.
I want to leave
So
them with something.
I got another question on our topic. So, but I'm gonna direct this one at Adam O. So, with the financial literacy and teaching the kids, or how young to teach the kids, do you believe generational wealth is something that's, I know it's something that's taught, but how do you teach it?
I don't believe it's taught. And the way it should be taught by example. So you should be watching, your mother or your father actually benefit off. We should see it. So his the father and the mother of this child should see, like, oh, grandma died and she passed this money down to mama and daddy. We don't see that.
Right.
I think that's the way it's taught. Generational wealth.
So let me ask you this then.
Mm-hmm.
And this just from reading things. You know, Google plays a part in a lot of people's lives more than books. Okay. So, and I was reading this book by Pastor David Crank, you know, faith
Yeah,
church and things like that.
that was my pastor.
Generational wealth is not always money being passed down. Generational wealth is having a financial literacy for your children to understand how to use their finances, how to use their money and make it work for them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that they can be set in life, so that they don't have to go through the same struggles that you went through. Excuse me. So they don't have to go through the same struggles that you went through. Now, I do know for myself, I made a lot of poor decisions growing up when it came to money. Soon as they let me get that credit card, just like y'all, boom, I took it. First thing I went to was Foot Action, Champs, Foot Locker, Famous Bar, when they called it Famous Bar, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Old ass dude.
buying Nautica and Polo and Tommy and all the Jordans and all, you know what I'm saying, unnecessary shit. You dig what I'm saying? Trying to buy the most expensive shit to be like, okay, yeah, I got this and you ain't got this and so and so and so.
And see,
You know,
that's another thing that's wrong with us. We rather look good and be broke
mm-hmm.
than keep some money and put it up, man. And
Yes.
that's like that when Katrina hit. So many people lost everything because they didn't even have money to put gas in their car, man. So they
Some
couldn't even
of
get
them
away.
ain't had cars to put gas in.
That's what I'm saying. Even some of them who had cars, they didn't even have gas money to fill up their car so they could get out before the hurricane, man.
And you know what? Again, I keep saying this. This goes back to your upbringing. Like, as Adam O said, you watching your grandparents or your parents, mom and daddy, and their spending habits or the way that they did things, if it was poor, it's only going to transfer, excuse me, it's only going to transfer to you. And when
Get
you
the hair
get
out your throat, man.
yours is going to be, huh? I hear you.
Get that hair out your throat.
Hold
Get that
on.
hair out your throat.
Jokes.
Oh,
All right, can I add something?
Sure, go ahead.
Me myself, man, I was naive for us. All that shit. I'm in my 40s and I never had a credit card. I never checked my credit scores or any of that shit. I deal with all cash. Never had no credit card. Never got anything on credit or anything.
Spoken like a
I was
nigga.
I was mostly like true the cash on everything. Even my car, I had to buy my car straight cash. So I don't really like owe to nobody nothing. So
That's actually a good thing.
It is.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but still, and I can
But
see
in
what
life,
y'all
it
saying,
ain't.
being responsible with the credit and all that. But right up to now, I feel like that was a good thing, but for now, right now, it's not a good thing because it's certain things that I
Right,
need.
because no credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no credit sometimes is worse than bad credit.
Exactly what I'm saying, and I hear that a lot because most of the time when people say that, they always say you don't have no credit. You ain't never had nothing on credit. You need to establish some credit first.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard.
You know,
And
Yeah.
no, not really, because only thing he got to do, see, he got a car. Only thing he got to do is get a little bullshit credit card and pay for his gas on there and pay that shit off every month. And it'll build up his credit.
Yeah,
It's
but
simple.
The only
depending
thing
on
that's
what
gonna
he's
hurt
trying
Steve
to
right now
do,
is the average age. His age is gonna be like less than a
Yeah,
year, and then you got
yeah,
to worry about the amount of credit available. You know what I'm saying? It's all
yeah,
that stuff I'm
yeah.
learning.
and what he
Like,
trying to purchase when it comes to
yeah,
having that credit. So all that play a part in.
yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I got
And one thing you said about being taught, and one thing you can look at, and we was talking about like a poverty thing.
uh-huh.
If you look at people who have been on government assistance for as welfare, Section 8, all this stuff, 9 times out of 10, the kid following the same footsteps of the
Yeah.
parent, and they end up in that same situation. So you're right, they watching, and it's being taught either knowingly or unknowingly. You teaching them how to move out in life.
Yeah.
yeah. And we wonder why we are playing from behind so much because we start off not knowing about credit at a young age.
Mhm.
That's why we playing from behind and we jerking our credit over up when we graduate high school. Because I
Yep.
did the same thing that you did, Brandon. Credit cards. Shit.
Right, I wasn't working, and I'm like, man, shit, here we go. I'm in the house now. I had like 3 or 4 of them. I just accepted all the offers.
Yeah.
First place I went was Northwest Plaza, the Gilks, or Gleeks, whatever that store is.
Mhm.
Hell no. Hey, I'm telling you right now, Discover, boy, they rate me, boy, with them interest rates and all that stuff. But that's another thing you gotta talk about. You get that first
And see,
credit card, your interest rate's like 20-30%. You
and
like, I don't know what that shit mean, but I'm gonna go get this credit card though.
Right.
people don't pay attention to that on their credit cards, the interest rate.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big thing of knowing.
It is. And the crazy part is when I got those credit cards at that time, I didn't know what the fuck that percentage rate was. I was like,
Nah,
hey.
I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what the annual was. Nothing. The only thing I know
Yeah.
is I got a card and I'm finna use it.
Don't forget that maintenance fee.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know none of that.
So I got 6 more tips as it pertains to helping your children when it comes to financial literacy and credit. Examine your own attitudes when it comes to money. So it's your spending habit and how do you teach your kids about it. Give your child an allowance and let them make their own choices on when they spend it. Expect your child to help with family chores. Provide an extra income opportunity. Teach your child to save regularly and help your child discover the satisfaction of sharing. So I do believe everything that those is read, and you can go check that. You can go on Google and things like that and pull this information up that I did present to y'all today. So with that being said, when do you want to start your child off on the road to financial literacy? Because I do believe I have a late start, but it's still never too late to have them to understand the value of a dollar and how to use it and help benefit them in their adult life.
As soon as they can count money, as soon as they start
Yeah.
counting.
I'll say
As soon as your child show they responsible.
as soon as they start begging. When they start begging, that's when you start teaching their ass.
Hey,
That ain't bad either.
there you go.
They start using that word "give me." That's when I start teaching their ass.
Hey, look, do feel like a lot got accomplished. A lot of information was spread out today. Our countdown has begun, so we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. And I do appreciate everybody for putting in their input and the information that they did bring to the table and everybody's thoughts. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to the Radio Godz, and we will see you next week.